walk into a room and something inside you tightens. No one speaks. Nothing obvious happens. Yet your breath shortens. Your chest contracts. Your nervous system reacts. You leave another room and feel lighter. Your shoulders drop. Your jaw softens. You feel more like yourself. Most people dismiss these moments. They call them moods, coincidence, imagination. But physics tells a different story. What if your entire life is a song, and much of your struggle comes from living slightly off-key? Not metaphorically, physically. This is resonance. Resonance is how systems communicate without touching. It is how tuning forks vibrate together across space. It is how pendulum clocks synchronize on a wall. It is how fireflies flash in unison. It is how heart rhythms align in conversation. It is how brainwaves synchronize between people. And it is how your life responds to who you are being. Let's slow this down. In the 17th century, Christian Huygens noticed something deeply unsettling. Two pendulum clocks mounted on the same surface would gradually fall into the same rhythm. No wires, no force, no instruction, just vibration finding harmony. At the time, this challenged the idea that systems only influence each other through direct contact. Centuries later, Stephen Strogatz would show that synchronization is not rare or accidental. It is a defining property of complex systems. From heart cells beating together, to power grids staying stable, to crowds clapping in rhythm, to neurons firing in synchrony. Nature prefers coherence. Now pause here for a moment. Resonance is not something special that happens occasionally. It is how order emerges at all. Atoms resonate. Molecules resonate. Lasers depend on resonance. Ecosystems depend on resonance. Galaxies rotate in resonant patterns. Nothing in nature exists in isolation. Modern physics shows us that beneath the appearance of solid matter lies vibration, fields fluctuating, energy moving, information flowing. Carlo Rovelli reminds us, in Helgoland, that reality is not made of objects, but of relations. Things do not exist independently. They exist through interaction. You are not a fixed object moving through the world. You are a dynamic system interacting with other systems. Your heart generates electromagnetic waves measurable meters away. Your brain operates through rhythmic oscillations. Your nervous system pulses constantly, adjusting to perceived safety or threat. You are not solid. You are rhythmic. Every thought you think has structure. Every emotion shifts your internal frequency. Every belief stabilizes a particular pattern. This means something both confronting and empowering. You are always broadcasting, even in silence, even when you say nothing, even when you try to hide, not metaphorically, biologically, physically, and the environment responds. This is why some people feel calming, why others feel draining, why certain conversations nourish you while others exhaust you, why some opportunities feel effortless while others resist you endlessly. It is not luck. It is not morality. It is not fate. It is resonance. Now let's bring in biology. Fritz-Albert Popp discovered that living cells emit light, biophotons. But more importantly, he discovered something else. Healthy cells emit coherent light. Diseased or stressed cells emit chaotic light. Coherence means the system is communicating efficiently with itself. Chaos means information is fragmented. This distinction matters profoundly. A coherent laser cuts steel. Incoherent light cannot. Same energy. Different organization. Human systems behave the same way. When your internal state is coherent, your presence carries weight. People respond differently. Opportunities open more easily. Your actions land. When your internal state is fragmented, energy disperses. Effort increases. Resistance multiplies. Life feels heavy. This explains something deeply human. Why calm regulates others. Why anxiety spreads faster than logic. Why confidence opens doors before credentials do. Why clarity changes outcomes without force. People are not responding to your words. They are responding to your coherence. David Bohm understood this at a depth that unsettled mainstream physics. In Wholeness and the Implicate Order, Bohm proposed that beneath the visible world lies a deeper order, an implicate order where everything remains connected. What appears separate is unfolded from a deeper wholeness. At that level, attraction is not something being pulled toward you. It is alignment becoming visible. Resonance does not create reality. It reveals it. Now bring this back to your own life. Have you noticed how the same emotional patterns repeat? The same relationship dynamics? The same conflicts? The same obstacles wearing different faces? People often ask, why does this keep happening to me? The uncomfortable answer is rarely external. Patterns repeat because resonance remains unchanged. Your emotional baseline sets your frequency. Your frequency determines what can stay in your field. When your internal rhythm shifts, the old pattern can no longer remain. This is why some relationships dissolve quietly, why certain opportunities disappear without drama, why entire chapters close without explanation. Not punishment. Mismatch. Now let's go deeper into the brain. György Buzsáki showed that cognition emerges from synchronized neural oscillations. Thought itself is rhythmic. Different frequency bands correspond to different states of being. Fear, focus, creativity, rest. When brain networks synchronize, perception sharpens. When they fragment, confusion and anxiety rise. Danielle Bassett's research on network neuroscience shows that transformation happens not through force, but through flexibility. Rigid systems resist change. Flexible systems reorganize. Resonance requires openness. This explains why control blocks attraction, why forcing outcomes backfires, why desperation repels rather than pulls, not because desire is wrong, but because contraction disrupts coherence. Now bring in Karl Friston. Friston's free energy principle shows that biological systems survive by minimizing internal disorder. Coherence is not optional. It is a survival strategy. When your internal predictions align with your environment, energy flows. When they don't, stress increases. Resonance, then, is not spiritual optimism. It is biological efficiency. Now let's talk about identity. Your identity is not just a psychological story. It is a vibrational pattern. Every belief stabilizes certain frequencies. Every assumption reinforces certain rhythms. When you say, "This is just how I am," you are locking resonance in place. When you soften identity, question it, and release rigidity, new frequencies become available. This is why healing changes what you attract. Not because healing makes you worthy, but because healing removes internal noise. Resonance becomes clearer. Think about moments when life flowed effortlessly. You were not chasing. You were not forcing. You were not overthinking. You were present, aligned, clear. That state had a frequency, and reality responded. Max Tegmark argues that reality itself may be mathematical and informational. If reality is structured as patterns, then changing your internal pattern changes which realities you can access. You do not pull the future toward you. You enter a different probability space. Different people exist there. Different opportunities exist there. Different versions of you exist there. This is why after deep inner shifts, people say, "My whole life changed." It did not change gradually. It reorganized. Old patterns stopped matching. New patterns appeared. Not magic. Physics. You did not manifest by will. You tuned by being. Now let's dismantle one of the most damaging misconceptions. Raising your vibration is not about positivity. It is not about pretending. It is not about bypassing pain. True resonance comes from integration. Suppressed emotion fragments energy. Unfelt fear distorts resonance. Denied pain repeats patterns. You do not raise frequency by escaping what you feel. You raise frequency by allowing energy to move through you. This is why authenticity is magnetic, why honesty feels grounding, why wholeness attracts without effort. Resonance does not respond to masks. It responds to truth. Now consider tuning. Like an instrument, your nervous system can be calibrated. Slow breathing stabilizes heart-brain rhythms. Gratitude increases coherence. Visualization primes emotional and physiological states. Sound frequencies alter brain oscillations. Light and color affect perception and mood. Your environment shapes your resonance continuously. You are always tuning yourself, consciously or unconsciously. Now imagine this. You are immersed in an invisible ocean of energy. Waves of information constantly moving through you, influencing what you experience as possible. What if you stopped fighting the waves and learned how to surf them? This is the resonance effect. Manifestation is not force. It is harmonic alignment. When your internal frequency matches the energetic signature of what you desire, the gap collapses. You do not attract the future. You resonate with it. So let's close gently. Resonance is not about control. It is about trust. You do not need to micromanage reality. You do not need to predict outcomes. You do not need to force alignment. You only need to maintain coherence within yourself. When your inner world aligns, the outer world responds automatically. Not because the universe rewards you, but because systems synchronize. This is not hope. This is not belief. This is how oscillating systems behave. You are not attracting your future. You are resonating with it. And when resonance changes, everything else follows. This is quantum resonance. This is why you attract what you are. And this is where real power lives. If this episode shifted the way you think about connection, consider subscribing to Quantum Life. All the books referenced today are linked below through Amazon. Thank you for being here, and for taking the time to think deeply.